Think about all the tiny decisions you've already made today. What to eat, what to click on, what to ignore. Now, what if I told you that behind a ton of those choices, there are these invisible forces at play? And get this, they're often not random at all. They're designed.
So that leads to a pretty big question, one that kind of gets to the heart of everything. Are your choices really yours? I mean, when you decide something, how much of that is truly you? And how much of it is just the way the choice was presented to you? Okay, to really see what I'm talking about, let's go somewhere you'd never expect. A school cafeteria. Yeah, a cafeteria. It sounds mundane, right? But this one simple place reveals a huge secret about how we all make decisions. So here's what they found out. And it's fascinating. The person in charge of the cafeteria could literally change what thousands of kids ate every single day. And how? Not by banning junk food, not by giving lectures, just by rearranging the food, putting the apples and bananas at eye level, and maybe moving the French fries to a slightly less obvious spot. That's it. No signs, no rules, no words, just a simple change in layout. It turns out that cafeteria director was playing a role they probably didn't even have a name for. They were being what the book calls a choice architect. A choice architect is anyone who organizes the context, the environment, where people make decisions. And once you hear that term, you can't unsee it. You start noticing these architects everywhere. Think about it. A doctor explaining treatment options to you? They're a choice architect. A parent talking to their kid about which college to go to? Choice architect. The person who designed the app you're scrolling through? Definitely a choice architect. And you know what? So are you. Anytime you present options to a friend or coworker, you're shaping their choice. The big takeaway here is that choice architecture isn't some shady optional thing. It's just inevitable. It's happening all the time. All right, so if our choices are so easy to influence, you gotta ask why. Why are we so susceptible to this? Well, the answer is that our brains just aren't the perfect, logical computers we like to think they are. To really get this, we need to talk about the two different ways our minds work. You see, for a long time, economists based their models on this idea of a creature they call an econ. Econs are, well, they're mythical. They're perfectly rational. They always make the best possible choice for themselves, like a supercomputer. But in the real world, we're not econs, we're humans. And as humans, yeah, incentives matter, but so do a million other things. Our biases, our moods, how tired we are, and of course, how the choice is framed. We don't always get it right. In fact, we mess up in very predictable ways. Now, and this is really important, this isn't about people being dumb, not at all. The problem isn't intelligence. The problem is that life is complicated. It's hard. We have a million things vying for our attention, so our brains take shortcuts. We have to, just to get through the day. So if we know that the environment shapes our decisions, and we know that we're all a little bit flawed in how we choose, then what if we could design those environments to, well, help us out, to make it easier to make better choices? And that right there is the central idea of this whole book. It's called a nudge. So what exactly is a nudge? Think of it like a gentle push in the right direction. It's not a shove, it's not a law or a mandate. So putting the fruit at eye level in that cafeteria, that's a nudge. Banning junk food altogether, that is not a nudge. The absolute key to a nudge is that it has to be super easy and cheap to ignore. It always preserves your freedom to choose whatever you want. Let me give you a fantastic real-world example of a nudge. Back in the day, Texas had a huge litter problem, and they could have just put up more don't litter signs, right? But instead they did something brilliant. They created a campaign that didn't talk about fines. It tapped into a powerful emotion, Texan pride. And the result was just staggering. A 72% drop in roadside litter in just the first 6 years. 72%! And it wasn't because of new laws or bigger fines. It was a nudge. It changed what felt normal and what people expected of each other. But you know, maybe the most powerful nudge in the entire universe is the one we almost never notice. It's the default option. We humans have this massive bias towards the status quo. We just tend to stick with whatever is already chosen for us. Think about it. The default ringtone on your phone, the pre-checked boxes on a website, even your 401k contribution. Okay, so we've got the what and why. Now let's get practical. How do you actually do this? What are the tools of a choice architect? You know, Steve Jobs had this great line. He said, design isn't just how something looks, it's how it works. And that is the perfect way to think about choice architecture. Good design isn't about tricking people. It's about making things work better for the flawed, busy, real-life humans we actually are. I mean, have you ever used one of those stoves where the knobs don't line up with the burners in any logical way? You're constantly turning on the wrong one. It's so frustrating.
That, my friends, is terrible choice architecture. It creates friction and makes it easy to make a mistake. Good design is the opposite. It's just intuitive. It feels effortless.
And that right there reveals the golden rule, the absolute #1 principle for all of this. If you want someone, including yourself, to do something, you have to make it easy. That's it. You just have to remove as much friction as humanly possible. All right, let's take that golden rule and apply it to a really big, tough problem, saving for retirement. We all know we should do it, but so many of us just don't, or don't save enough. So how could a choice architect use that make it easy idea to help?
Well, they came up with this brilliant program called Save More Tomorrow. Here's how it works. First, you get employees to agree today to increase their savings rate in the future. Second, you cleverly time those increases to happen whenever they get a pay raise. That way, their take-home pay never actually goes down, so it doesn't feel like a loss. And third, once you're in, you stay in. It becomes the new default. You have to actively choose to opt out. It removes all the friction, and guess what? It works incredibly well. So let's pull all this together. We know the world is packed with choice architecture, whether we see it or not. We know that tiny, little nudges can lead to huge changes in behavior. So that leaves us with a pretty important and maybe even ethical question. What do we do with this knowledge, with this power? You know, one of the authors, Richard Thaler, apparently signs copies of his book with a simple 3-word message: nudge for good. It's more than just a cute sign-off, right? It's a powerful reminder that these are tools, and like any tool, they can be used to help people or to exploit them. It's a call for responsibility. Because at the end of the day, we can't escape this stuff. It's impossible. Every website you visit, every form you fill out, every process at your job, it all has a design. It's all shaping choices. So the real question isn't if we're going to nudge. The question is, are we going to do it on purpose, with good intentions, or are we just going to let it happen by chance? And that's the final crucial point. The choice architect isn't some mysterious person in a far-off corporate headquarters. It's you. It's me. When you're a manager, when you're a parent, when you're just a friend giving advice, you are designing choices. We all have this power to make good decisions just a little bit easier for the people around us. So I'll leave you with this one last thought. Forget about trying to change the whole world overnight. Just think about your own life. What's one small, tiny nudge you could create for yourself or for someone you care about that would make a better choice just a little bit easier, starting today?